What's up, world? This is We Need a Fifth. This your man Mo. Got my man P in the building.
Good.
Got my man Hill on the line.
You.
Fellas, NBA Finals came to a conclusion, and it was a gentleman's sweep. The Boston Celtics proved all of us wrong and proved to be what we all considered the better team. What were your takeaways from the series in the whole for both Boston and Dallas? And we can start with Boston. Let's start with the champs first.
Well, no, the better team won. I'll do it for both of them. The better team just won. The adage that defense wins championships rung true. Because I think their defensive, not really Luka too, because they contained them, but the defense on Kyrie not having a double team, Hill just said like off air, took away all those lobs to Lively and Gafford and Washington, whatever. So, I picked Dallas. I think in 6, I was totally wrong, but I think the better team won.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you. I couldn't agree with that adage even more. I mean, they won and decisively with the gentleman's sweep with probably their best player not having a good series. So this actually could have been uglier than it possibly was. I mean, were they that much of a dominant difference than what we were thinking? Because we all got it. I mean, we didn't get it wrong. We got it brutally wrong.
But I think that where we got it wrong, I know, at least for myself, where I got it wrong was I didn't believe that Boston had overcome those mental hurdles that had been in their way in the past. And I honestly thought that they were a mentally weaker team than they proved to be. They proved that, hey, they have the championship medal. I think we've all been on the record as saying that they definitely had the talent and had the best starting 5 out there. But it's just, hey, are they going to show up in crunch times when the lights are bright? So often in the past that they haven't shown up. So I know they made me a believer. They shoved it right down my throat because I picked Dallas in 7, and they say we're not even going to play that long. I know. Let's talk about Dallas a little bit.
This is what Drew Holiday isn't that much of a difference.
I think you got to say yes, right? And if I heard you correctly, you say, did Drew Holiday make that much of a difference?
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm.
And Pete, do you think that was it? Drew Holiday making a difference?
He was part of it, but I think it was all 4 perimeter defenders. I think it was Tatum, Brown, Drew, and White. And at the end of the day, the elephant in the room, Kyrie didn't play good.
Yeah.
And I think that was because of Boston's defense.
Yeah. And Luka didn't play well as well, because even though he gave you gaudy numbers, it was really inefficient. I know, like the last game, I think he gave you 28, but he took 25 shots. It's like, so. Yeah, it was tough, and I think he was 3 of 20 from 3-point range in the last 3 games. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about Luka and his performance in this finals.
I think Luka, I mean, he fought tooth and nail to get his shots off. I mean, there was Nothing was ever easy, and then you were able to defend them one-on-one. Made you turn it into the others having to actually fend for themselves and get shots. I mean, having PJ Washington give you more than 3 dribbles on the floor, I don't think that was in the game plan. So,
and let me ask you guys this. I know we've spoken all year about how the West is murderer's row, for lack of a better term. Do you think that crucible that they had to go through to get to the championship just took the momentum out of their sails?
No, I think
I say that.
Correct.
I say that because it seemed like in the West, during the Western Conference playoffs and their road to the finals, hey, they were able to come up with solutions for different teams, and teams that, hey, have just as much firepower, at least offensively, as Boston, and they were able to be stalwart, defenders against these teams, and even on the offensive side, they weren't able to get past 100 points in this series, I think. So it's like, what happened? Where did the Dallas that was in that made that Western Conference, run and made it against arguably some of the tougher teams in the NBA? What happened to that team?
You ran into the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, the West is deeper, and I understand what you're saying, is deeper, but the regular season showed us Boston had the best record. They were the best team, and the postseason showed us they were the best team in the league this year, regular season and postseason.
They just looked like they didn't believe him, though. You know what I mean? Like, on offense or defense, especially defense, they were targeting him and Kyrie, your 2 best guys. And it was such a challenge that Jalen and Drew, and yeah, like you said, Tatum and White felt towards, and which I love in competition. You always think that you're better.
Mm-hmm.
But especially, I haven't seen that since like what they did with Curry. Curry is so good, but they said, you know what, a guy's 6 feet at best. He's a meal.
Yeah, I feel like like you said, it's compete. I think they have the utmost respect for Luka and Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
But we're competing against you.
Right.
Yeah, it's really that simple. Like, I don't think they really, you're in our way, basically.
It went. Oof, that was rough. Luka could have got. He played himself out of the game. Luka could have teched himself out of 2 games. He was out of it.
Little word we call frustration.
Yeah, he was out of it.
And can we talk a little bit about Porzingis and his impact? Because I felt like he was one of the jokers in the deck for Boston, as far as on both ends of the floor. Where Dallas didn't have an answer for him.
Nah, mainly for 1 game. No, it wasn't too much. I'm not going to give him so much impact. He was pretty much, catching traction as the snowball was going downhill. His was just an extra. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think that team was just pretty much a better team all around from their starting 5, and I'm counting with Al Horford.
Okay, and let me ask you guys this. This is the next question on everybody's lips. Can they do it again? Will they be the first team in 6 years to repeat?
I think they have a good chance as anyone, any of the previous teams. Yeah. Like I said, because again, same thing I said this year. Besides Milwaukee, I don't see a threat in the East.
Bill?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I have Boston usually every year up there. What's up now?
And they usually get there, at least get to the Eastern Conference every year. So it's not like they disappoint you.
Jaylen Brown got MVP for the Eastern Conference Finals and also MVP for the championship finals. y'all agree with that determination?
Well, they talked about his contract all this time. This dude paid it as he weighed. Just cash the checks now.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Eastern Conference Finals, or whatever they call it, MVP. It's just like a Fugazi trophy. But he balled out the whole season. Kudos to Jelly Brown. Like you said, he earned his money. Trophies or no trophies, he balled out. You know what I mean? So.
No.
Oh yeah, no. That's pretty much it. Like the law firm is lived up to what they give you a chip. Now pay Tatum what you're gonna pay him now, and then you pay Jalen, and they're still, they're pretty young.
Yeah, and they got their core group locked up for a while. One of the things I kind of agree with. I think Windhorst said it. I wouldn't have mind if both Jalen and Tatum got MVP, like co-MVP. I wouldn't have mind that.
Windhorst seems like the type of guy that gives like trophies to everyone that competes in the tournament.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, thanks for playing. The thing that ruins sports. The thing that ruins sports is the thing that pretty much Windhorst is trying to give me. I think it was Jalen Brown who deservedly won it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Want to talk about some coaching hirings and firings. It seems like the firings are more abundant these days. Your boy Monty Williams, Detroit Pistons fired him after his first season as head coach there. He went 14-68, just for your reference. And oh yeah, by the way, he had 5 years and $65 million left on his contract, which I believe the Detroit Pistons will still have to pay him. P, what are we doing?
It's a dysfunctional organization, right? Right, like you basically just throwing money into the fire. I don't think Monty Williams was a bad hire. He coached the team to the NBA Finals. I just think they're impatient. And then and who's the GM? That's what we really need to know. Because the GM is picking the players, and the GM picked the coach. So I believe Trajan Langdon. Shout out to him. Kyle gave me the tidbit that he's taking over. So I guess they already got rid of the GM, so they just cleaning house. But that's expensive cleaning service that you're using.
Yeah, and I'm just surprised that a team in Detroit's position where, hey, you've been in the lottery for the last couple of years. I think, when's the last time they've been to the playoffs? Maybe 2010.
No. They made it with Blake. That's hard. They made it with Blake one year. I think Giannis made short work of him, but they made it with Blake, I believe.
And I think that was a play-in, wasn't it, P?
Jeez. Don't make me lie to you about Detroit Pistons.
My thing is, I think my point is, with this team, y'all been losing for a minute now, and at best, y'all been mediocre, and that's being gracious. But especially considering some of the history that you guys have out there, with the Bad Boys and Rasheed Wallace's Pistons and stuff. So it's really surprising that organization doesn't want to stick with a coach and allow him to develop a culture or develop a system that could be successful.
I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, I just think it's a dysfunctional organization. It has a pretty good history, but that's history.
Yeah. Yeah, LA Clippers, P. They just hired your man Jeff Van Gundy as a top assistant coach.
What does that even mean? Who's the middle assistant coach? Who was the top assistant coach last year? Nobody knows. Who's Monty Williams, a top assistant coach? I don't know what that means. Is Kawhi gonna be healthy, man? And it's like I don't you know.
Let me ask you this, and maybe this is a question that nobody's asking. You hire a guy like Jeff Gundy as a top assistant coach. If you're Ty Lue, should you be worried about that?
No, I think he just resigned.
Okay.
I think he just got extended. Worst case scenario, the Monty Williams.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you could call Monty. You could say unfortunate Monty Williams. Don't ever say poor Monty Williams because he's far from poor. So you know, if the Clippers do that, you know, they're dumb. That would just be dumb. If you're gonna fire Ty Lue for Van Gundy, go ahead.
You said you can't say poor Monty Williams.
Can't say that. Unfortunate. Okay. Poor.
P, I want to talk a little bit about some off-season signing or rumors out there about off-season signing. It looks like your man Pascal Siakam is about to get the max deal with the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's a good fit for him?
Yeah, yeah. He's a good player. You keep saying my Clippers, my man Monty Williams, my man Pascal. I like these guys. They're cool. I won't go that far.
Hey,
But
I know Pascal's your boy.
Yeah, Indiana, you're going to have trouble attracting free agents. So if you can retain a player of his caliber, all-star, right? Not perennial, but an all-star talent. You know, I think you do it. So I think it's a good move for them. If you let him go, how do you replace him? No one's in a rush to get to Indiana. What? When the last time your next vacation's to Indiana, Mo?
Not at all. Not at all, man. Not at all. It's a cruel world out there.
LA, Paris, Brazil, Spain, Indiana. Okay.
It's a cold world out there. That's all I said. Bundle up, Indiana. That's your man P right there.
Right. WeNeeda5th at gmail.com.
Hey, WNBA news, P. Want to talk a little bit about it. Cameron Brink going to be out for the season. Torn ACL. Yeah, that's a tough one. And
just unfortunate. Anytime anyone suffers an injury, but I followed a little bit, and I'm not gonna go crazy. Followed a little bit at Stanford, or whatever. But it's just unfortunate. She was having a decent rookie season. I'm not even sure about LA's record, but she was giving like 8 points, 2 blocks. Just finding her way. She wasn't setting the world on fire or anything, but you just hate to see anybody get injured. So speedy recovery to Cameron Brink.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that as she recovers and goes through her rehab, that she'll start to consider on building more muscle, because I think she's one of those that needs to go through that Kobe Mike transition. When Mike first came in the league, he was a little skinny, a little scrawny, but as the 90s come along, he's built, like, especially by 92, I would say 91, he's building muscle. You know what I mean? And he's able to take more contact and deliver more contact. And I think she needs to go through that transition with her body as well. That's one of the things that I was noticing when she was playing. It's too easy sometimes to push her off her spot. And I think she needs to develop muscle so that she can hold her spot and push and power through, but like you said, hopefully she'll have a speedy recovery. Best of luck to her.
Absolutely.
someone that's coming back from a major injury, Chelsea Gray from the Las Vegas Aces. She's going to be coming back in their next game. She was out since she got hurt in the finals. So, and the Aces at this time, they need it because they were on a nice little losing streak. I think they lost like 4 or 5 games in a row. So they need her shot of energy to get the ship back in order. Are they going to waste this tremendous season that Asia Wilson is having? I know Chelsea Gray is one of your favorite players, P.
Yeah. I think her leadership and the impact on the team might be a little underrated. Well, it was until we see they're 6 and I think they're 6-6 or 500 now. So now we see how much we missed her. So yeah, I expect them to right the ship. Assuming that she's fully healthy and back to her former self. Yeah, love her game. Love Chelsea Gray's game.
Hey, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys are thinking. Are you paying attention to the NBA in the off season? Off season moves like Pascal Siakam inking a max deal, like Monty Williams getting fired, like Jeff Van Gundy coming back into coaching after so long. Are you watching out for the WNBA? Are you looking out for the Aces? Some of you guys thought that they were locked for playoffs, but it looks like it might be a dogfight for them. So, hey, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you're thinking. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. And don't forget, you can hit us up directly at WeNeeda5th@gmail.com. P, I wanted to save this so we have a little room to, talk a little bit about this. We lost another great sports legend and just a legend period. And just wanted to speak a little bit about him. Willie Mays passed away earlier this week, and I believe they had a funeral for him today in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. He was 93 years old. Willie Mays, he started playing baseball early. His father, Willie Mays Sr., was a center fielder as well. Not as well known as his son, obviously, but his father was a center fielder. Got his son playing early. When he was 10 years old, he was playing against high school kids. And when he turned 15, he started playing for the Negro Leagues. I believe he played for Birmingham in the Negro Leagues, and he played until he was 18 in the Negro Leagues, and then he got called up by the New York Giants at that time, which is later become now known as the San Francisco Giants before they moved. I think his first contract was $15,000, and he made his first start in the big leagues at the age of 20. He's a 12-time Gold Glove winner, 24 times All-Star. Every year he played, he was an All-Star. He hit 660 home runs, 6th most all time, 4th most for right-handed hitters. He's one of 3 players who's hit 600 home runs, 300 stolen bases. The other 2 players are Alex Rodriguez and Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds happens to be his godson. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was inducted in 1979. He's a 2-time NL MVP. He won that in 1954 and 1965. He won at the time. He was one of the oldest recipients of the Gold Glove at 37. I believe he won that in 64. He missed 2 years due to military service, and this is a player that in his worst year he's averaging 25 home runs. So 2 years, you could honestly say he could have given you 50 more home runs, and that would have put him at 710 home runs for his career. The guy was a beast when it comes to baseball, both on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball. He has one of the most iconic defensive plays of all time with his basket catch. I believe that was in, I want to say 65, maybe.
I think it's, they're so today was game 1 of the World Series, I believe.
Yeah. And he's one of 5 players to have 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. He batted .302 for his career. And he only has 12 Gold Gloves because they didn't start giving out Gold Gloves until the 5th year of his career. Otherwise, I think he would have had well over 15, at least. And to every person you ask about Willie Mays, and especially when you hear professionals speak about him, you hear them talk about him being the consummate professional, about being approachable, being one of those that wanted to pass on some of his knowledge and legacy onto the younger generation to help them power through and push through some of the barriers that they may face. I think Willie Mays is kind of underrated, or I shouldn't say underrated. I think that he doesn't get spoken about nearly enough when we talk about great athletes and when we talk about the GOATs of sports. I think his name needs to come up a little bit more often in that regard. So this is part of our effort to get that going. But Willie Mays was definitely a legend, a sports icon, and definitely one of the GOATs of sports history. You know, I think it goes beyond baseball. You know, his impact could be felt across, all type of barriers, racial, economic, and all that stuff. So, rest in power to Willie Mays.
Definitely.
Before we get out of here, P, what's on the radar, man?
Obviously, the passing of Willie Mays. Growing up, I always thought King Griffey's like the best player I saw, like all around player.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like a 5'2" player, run, hit, field, throw, hit for power. But looking at the statistics, I think Willie Mays was that guy. The best. He might have not been. He doesn't lead the league in homers. I mean, he's not all-time lead in homers or hits, but I just feel he's like top. He's in the conversation for anything a baseball player could do. He's probably at least top 5, top at the very least top 10 in that category.
One of the things that I learned that amazed me is just how his contemporaries speak about him, and how sports scouts speak about him. One scout was saying that, hey, he's Ken Griffey Jr., but he's better athletically.
Yeah, because you mentioned the 300 batting average. I don't believe Ken Griffey batted 300 for his career. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to me, as a stat guy or whatever, that means something to me because like if you there's guys who have as many or even more homers than him, but that's just because they're stronger. Like Willie Mays might have been 210 pounds, maybe. So
185, 185.
right.
Bro.
So when I say complete player, he's just not up there swinging for the fences. This guy could hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when then when he does get on base, he's a threat as a base runner. He's a threat. He could help you win on defense. He had an arm. He was just the most complete player. He was the archetype to a Mike Trout or Ken Griffey Jr. So rest in paradise to the great Willie Mays.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's what's on my radar. The draft coming up is on the radar. WNBA season, I think we're starting to lock in. You know, teams are starting to get their groove in. You know, Hill's favorite player is starting to win games. Caitlin Clark. You know, so I'm definitely watching for that. And we got some movies coming out too that's going to be interesting. Beverly Hills Cop 4, if you're checking for that. And yeah, so a lot of stuff looking out for. But yeah, that's it. Another one in the bag.
Yeah.
To all our fifths out there, peace.
Peace.